artists! Today it is time to make another page for our fossil book for our paleontologist, and I'm really happy about this page because it's an important moment. This is the moment where the paleontologist starts to dig into the ground to get that fossil. So of course they're very excited, and digging this moment is explosive. It's awesome. And so because of that, we want our audience, the people reading the book, to realize, whoa, this is a really cool moment. So I'm going to show you some art specifically about coloring that is going to make your page look really cool, really exciting. We're going to start with our rock. So our rock is going to come down here, start at the corner, and take up most of the page. If you want, it can take up all of the page as long as it's on the bottom. Okay? If you want, you can add some details to your rock, like this, some zigzags and cracks. Up to you. If you want it to look even more like a rock, you can use the technique that we did to create our cover of this book, where we crumbled up paper, put paper on top of it, and then colored. I'm going to put that link in the description right down here so that you can click it if you want to do that for this rock. But you don't have to. The rock is not the main thing about this art. So the tool they are using to dig into the rock on this page is going to be a pickaxe. Paleontologists will use different tools. They use chisels, they use shovels. My teacher, who taught my dinosaurs class, actually used dynamite once. Whoa! But this one is going to use a pickaxe. So to start our pickaxe, we're going to have a diagonal line that ends in the middle of the rock. So it should end about near the middle of your page, too. So here's my diagonal line, ending in the rock. Okay? Now, I'm going to teach you some line vocabulary today. I've got two words on the board, perpendicular and parallel. These are both words that we use to describe lines. Parallel describes two lines that run next to each other, like this. Oh, like this. Oh. They're always running next to each other, and they're never going to touch because they're always going alongside. It's like a road. It's like two pipes. This is a parallel line. You can remember because there's two L's in the word parallel, and they are parallel. Okay? So we're going to have a line that is parallel to our diagonal line. Never touches. If you want to use a ruler, you can. Now, we want this to be a 3D form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a top to make it a rectangle and a bottom. And I'm actually going to make this kind of bumpy because it's breaking into the rock. Add a couple of dust bites flying up in the air. I think that looks cute. They're not dust bites, they're dust pieces. Then to make it look 3D, what you want to do is have two diagonal lines come off the corners. You see those itty bitty diagonal lines? Okay? Then you're going to connect those diagonal lines right here. And then from this end of the diagonal line, you're going to have another parallel line running all the way down to the rock. So here we go. Again, you'll probably want to use a ruler. Might help you. Now, let's talk about that second word. We've got the chisel, or the head of the pickaxe that's hitting the rock, and we need the handle. So, we have parallel on the board, and we also have this word, perpendicular. Perpendicular is when you have your two lines, and instead of running next to each other, they run into each other, and they make a T. I wish there was a T in the word perpendicular, but at least there's a D, perpendicular. So perpendicular lines make a T. They also make a capital L, because do you see how they run into each other like that? Either of those, they're both perpendicular, but a T is the best way to remember it, even if the T is upside down, or in our case, even if the T is diagonal. So we're going to draw some perpendicular lines right in the middle of the head. It's going to go all the way off the page, all way off the page. Then I'm going to have a curve, and that curve is going to trick the brain into thinking it's round. I'm going to erase this because I don't need it anymore. Erase this. And now we are actually ready to color. This is the fun part. So, for this coloring, you can use colored pencils if you want, but this is actually a fun and good page to use markers specifically for the background. Okay, so if you want to use markers, now is a good time. You need to pick at least 3 colors, but you can pick more than that if you want. I would recommend not using more than 6, but 3 is good. I'm going to use, you know what, I want to use this cool teal looking marker. So I'm going to use 4 in mine. I've got light green, red, blue, and teal. You'll want to make a pattern, any pattern you want, but you're going to need a stick with it. So I'm going to start with my light green, and I'm going to put my other ones here. Okay. Now what you're going to do is right down here at the bottom where your chisel is hitting the rock, you're going to make a big sun shape, but not just a sun shape. Watch what I do. I'm going to start on this side because it's easier because there's more open space. I'm going to go make these big spikes. I'm making big spikes with my green marker. When I hit the chisel, I'm going to jump and then keep going. So keep going with the pattern. This actually needs to go a little lower, I can tell. Like that. And then you want to fill it in just a little bit. It's like the beginning of the sun is right there, right where it hits the rock. So don't, you can fill it in all the way if you want, or you can just thicken the line. I'm going to thicken my line. Now, because these are whiteboard markers, these aren't going to be as nice and neat as whatever you're doing at home. Okay, now I'm ready for my next color. Oh, it's already looking cool. This needs to be a bit thicker. So I'm taking my marker and I'm putting it to the back of my pattern, and now I have my new one. Now what I'm going to do is go around this shape, and I also want it to be pointy, you know. No, I like pointy. 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 Whenever I hit the pickaxe, I'm going to jump. Now I'm going to fill in the space in between that line and my green marker. I'm going to pause while I color. Okay, then do you see how it's bursting already? Now I'm going to put my red back. I'm going to do the same thing with my blue. It's okay if you're not catching up. I mean, obviously I paused and did a time jump, so you can't be. Because right now I just want to show you how this is going to look. And it's going to look a lot cooler on your page because you're using better markers or colored pencils than I am. Okay, time to pause again while I fill this in. So we've got our blue layer. Now for my teal layer, I want to show you something special. I am now getting to the point where my colors are going to go over the pickaxe, and that's important. This one's not. It would go, if it was going through, it would do this. But this one is going to come over. So is this one. And it's very important that your color gets over the pickaxe onto the other side so that it really looks like the explosion of excitement we're trying to show. I'm going to pause and color. So, do you see how the teal is bursting behind the pickaxe? That is super important that you make sure your spikes of excitement go over the pickaxe. So, Now, remember how I said I picked 4 colors? I've circled around and I'm back to start my pattern over again. So I'm going to go around again with my green, my light green. This is going to go, don't actually do a dotted line like I am. Up, 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 down to here. I'm just using the dotted line to kind of figure out where I'm drawing. If you're going to do a dotted line, do it in pencil. All right, and let's magically poof this color into business. And poof! It's green! Okay, so now again, after green, we have red, and I think that this is looking awesome. Now I've gotten to another important note. See how I came to the edge of the page? I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump because I'm not going to draw my desk, but I do need to keep the pattern going. And it's really exciting when you get to the edge of the page, actually, because it means that you are really filling up what you're trying to do. Boom! All right, and we are actually getting close to done. Technically, I do have to go all the way up to the top of the page, and I want you to. But I am here to teach you so that you can finish the project on your own. Besides, markers, whiteboard markers are not meant for this. If you're using regular markers, like washable markers, like this one's just going to be teeny tiny. Oh, isn't that cute? If you're using regular washable markers, those are going to be so much better, faster, and prettier. And one of the best suggestions I have for using those markers is to, when you're coloring, go like this. One line, and then directly under it one line, and directly under it one line, and directly under it one line. That's going to make you have the brightest, boldest, prettiest colors. If you scribble on top like I'm doing, with a regular washable marker, it's going to layer it to the point where it gets too wet and you can't really use your paper anymore. So this is a good opportunity for you to practice those marker skills. Plus, I'm running out of video time, so I'm going to finish coloring this for one final boom. Boom! So one other thing that I did is I colored the inside. I found the pattern and figured out which one should be in the middle, and I did that. So make sure your inside is colored as well. Fill up the page. Do you see how this looks like every time they strike the rock, it's just this exciting explosion? That's how a paleontologist feels when they're about to discover a fossil. And so that's how we want your art to look and feel. So have fun, good luck, and I'm excited to see your work.